will discuss Chapter 4 about hydrology. So, water is the most important factor behind the existence of life on Earth. Human body is made of 70% of water, much of which is lost through urine and sweat. There will be no life on Earth without water. So, sabi nga sa nabasa kong article ni Archive for Criminology, sabi niya ang tao ay kayang makasurvive ng 8 to 21 days without food and water. Pero if there is access in water, a person can live up to 2 months. So, malaki talaga yung ambag ng tubig sa buhay ng tao. So, sabi nga kanina, 'di ba, 70% of human body is made of water. So, what is hydrology? Hydrology became a science in response to the need of human to understand the complex water system of the earth and help solve water problem. Sabi, ang hydrology ay isa siyang agham na ginawa upang tumugon sa pangangailangan ng tao na maunawaan at mas maintindihan ang mga komplikadong mga sistema ng tubig sa mundo at para makatulong na rin na malutas ang mga problema sa tubig. So dito, we have 13 properties of water. 1. Water is polar. Water molecules are polar, with partial positive charges on the hydrogen, a partial negative charge on the oxygen, and a bent overall structure. This is because oxygen is more electronegative, meaning that it is better than hydrogen at attracting electrons. So, water is polar. It's about sa molecular structure ng water. Hindi pareho ng electrons yung atoms kasi diba ang water, H2O, hindi pantay yung electrons ng hydrogen at oxygen. Kaya siya naging polar. So next, water is a tasteless, odorless liquid at standard temperature and pressure. The color of water in ice is intrinsically a very slight blue hue. Although water appears colorless in small quantities, ice also appears colorless and water vapor is essentially invisible as a gas. So, ang perception of flavor is based on aroma and 5 basic tastes, yung sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and savory. So, yung pure water, di siya nagko-contain ng any compounds na elicit any of these taste and has a neutral scent. So, kaya tinawag natin siyang tasteless. So, katulad din sa odorless liquid, wala rin siyang amoy. So, kung may naamoy ka mang kahit ano, sa tubig nyo sa bahay, may halo na itong something, hindi na to pure. Water is transparent. Dahil transparent yung tubig, naalaw niya yung liwanag na makadaan sa kanya para maabot yung aquatic plants na nangangailangan ng araw. Strong UV light, yun lang yung mas na-absorb ng mga halaman sa ilalim. Number 4, water is an excellent solvent. Water has the unique ability to dissolve many polar and ionic substances. This feature also enables water to carry solvent nutrients in runoff, infiltration, groundwater flow, and living organisms. This is important to all living things because as water travels through the water cycle, it takes many valuable nutrients along with it. So, ibig sabihin, magandang gamitin yung water sa pag-dissolve ng mga bagay. Malaki yung tulong niya para mas mabilis na ma-dissolve yung mga substances. Pati madala yung mga nutrients na kinakailangan ng katawan natin. 5. Water has high heat capacity. It takes a lot of energy to raise the temperature of a certain amount of water by a degree. So water helps with regulating temperature in the environment. So mataas yung boiling point ng water. Ang pagkakaalam ko is 100 degrees Celsius muna bago kumulo yung tubig. Number 6. Water has a high heat of vaporization. Humans and other animals that sweat use water's high heat of vaporization to cool off. Water is converted from its liquid form to steam when the heat of vaporization is reached. Since sweat is made mostly of water, the evaporating water absorbs excess body heat, which is released into the atmosphere. This is known as evaporating cooling. So 7. Water has cohesive and adhesive properties. Water molecules have strong cohesive forces due to their ability to form hydrogen bonds with one another. Cohesive forces are responsible for surface tension, the tendency of a liquid surface to resist rupture when placed under tension or stress. Water also has adhesive properties that allow it to stick to substances other than itself. About yun sa water molecules, kaya nilang magsama-sama at maghiwa-hiwalay. Water is less dense as a solid than as a liquid. As water freezes, the molecules form a crystalline structure that spaces the molecules further apart than in liquid water. This means that ice is less dense than liquid water, which is why mas dense yung molecule structure ng liquid water kaysa kapag naging ice na siya. Water in a pure state has a neutral pH. As a result, pure water is neither acidic nor basic. Water changes its pH when substances are dissolved in it. Rain has a naturally acidic pH of about 5 to 6 because it contains natural derived carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. So dito, yung purong water or H2O ay neutral, yung pH level. Ibig sabihin nun, 0 siya sa pH scale. Yung pH scale kapag naging negative, ibig sabihin acidic yung liquid kapag naman positive base. 11. Water molecules are the only substance on Earth that exists in all three physical states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Incorporated in the changes of state are massive amount of heat exchange. This feature plays an important role in the redistribution of heat energy in the Earth's atmosphere. In terms of heat being transferred into the atmosphere, approximately 3/4 of this process is accomplished by the evaporation and condensation of water. So dito, water lang yung substance sa Earth na pwedeng maging 3 states of matter. Pwede kasing maging solid, liquid, at gas. So number 12, the freezing of water molecules causes their mass to occupy a larger volume. When water freezes, it expands rapidly, adding about 9% by volume. Fresh water has a maximum density at around 4 Celsius. Water is the only substance on this planet where the maximum density of its mass does not occur when it becomes solidified. Mas malaki yung space na na-occupy ng freezing water kaysa sa liquid. The boiling point of water and all other liquids is dependent on the barometric pressure. For example, on the top of Mount Everest, water boils at 68 degrees Celsius. Compared to 100 degrees Celsius at sea level, conversely, water deep in the ocean near geothermal vents can reach temperatures of hundreds of degrees and remain liquid. Boiling point ng bawat tubig o iba't ibang klase ng liquid ay hindi pare-pareho. Ito ay nakadepende sa biometric pressure, yung barometric pressure. Ito yung pressure within the atmosphere of Earth. So halimbawa, kung ang pinakatuktok ng Mount Everest ay may 68 degrees Celsius, yun nga yung example kanina, na boiling point, kabaligtaran naman ito sa ocean deep near geothermal vents na pwedeng umabot sa 100 degrees and remain liquid.
Let's proceed to different kinds of water. We have here top water, mineral water, spring or glacier water, sparkling water, distilled and purified water. Tap water. Kapag sinabi nating tap water, it is basically the water that comes from your faucet. It may be or may not be suited for drinking. It is usually used in household chores like paglalaba, paghuhugas ng pinggan, pagluluto, at iba pa. Next, mineral water. Same with tap water, we are all familiar with the mineral water. And this water contains minerals, namely calcium, magnesium, and manganese. And it comes from the underground. If meron kayong nalalasahan na medyo maalat sa mineral water, it is because of the minerals na nanandun. So those minerals causes the water to taste salty. Spring or glacier water. Ang spring or glacier water naman, this is a type of bottled water na sinasabing yung mismong laman or yung mismong tubig is nagmula sa spring or sa glacier. And like the mineral water, nagko-contain din siya ng mga nabanggit na minerals, calcium, magnesium, and manganese. Most of the spring and glacier water is raw, unfiltered, and untested water because, kumbaga, diretso siyang binobote. Kaya pwede pa rin siyang maka-affect sa health ng isang tao since it's not filtered. Sparkling water, o tinatawag ding carbonated or soda water. It is infused with carbon dioxide gas while under pressure. In other terms, pwede natin siyang ihantulad sa mga soft drinks, but without the presence of sugar or artificial sweeteners. Yun ang sparkling water. Although, sinabi din na nagko-contain siya ng mga minerals, hindi siya sapat na sabihin na meron siyang benefit sa health ng tao. Next, distilled water. Itong water naman na to is boiled and the steam is collected and condensed back into a liquid. Since it's boiled, all the minerals and saltiness of the water were totally gone. And the process of that boiling is called reverse osmosis and distillation. And last, but definitely not least, is the purified water. That is usually tap or groundwater na linis na or natanggal na yung harmful substances like bacteria, fungi, and parasites. Medyo similar ang distilled at purified water. Ang pinagkaiba lang nila, ang distilled water, type siya ng purified water na both the contaminants and minerals were removed. So, totally, wala na siyang health benefit. While the purified water, the chemicals and the contaminants ay tinanggal din, but it may still contains minerals. So, in other terms, there possibility na meron pa rin siyang benefit. Unlike the distilled, totally wala. The hydrologic cycle begins with the evaporation of water from the surface of the ocean. As moist air is lifted, it cools and water vapor condenses to form clouds. Moisture is transported around the globe until it returns to the surface as precipitation. Once the water reaches the ground, one of the two processes may occur. 1. Some of the water may evaporate back into the atmosphere. Or 2. The water may penetrate the surface and become groundwater. Groundwater are the sips it away into the oceans, rivers, and streams, or is released back into the atmosphere through transpiration. The balance of water that remains on the Earth's surface is runoff, which empties into the lakes, rivers, and streams, and is carried back to the ocean where the cycle begins again.
Water purification to water quality. Water purification ay ang paglilinis ng tubig, proseso kung saan aalisin ang mga hindi ka nais-nais na compound ng kemikal at mga kontaminasyon nito. Ang isang pangunahing layunin ng water purification ay ang paglilinis ng tubig upang makagawa ng malinis na inuming tubig na matutugunan din ang pangangailangan na medikal, pharmacological, chemical, pati na rin ang industriya ng mga aplikante na mabigyan sila ng puro at malinis na tubig na sasapat sa kanilang pangkonsumo. Water quality. Ang kalidad ng tubig ay isa sa pinakamahalagang kadahilanan upang maging malusog at masuportahan ng malinis na tubig ang halaman pati na din ang wildlife. Ang pamantayan para sa kalidad ng inuming tubig ay karaniwang itinakda ng pamahalaan o ng mga pamantayan sa internasyonal. Sinasabi na hindi sapat ang pagpapakulo ng tubig para ito ay masabing malinis. Maraming proseso ang dapat isinasagawa para matiyak ang isang malinis na inuming tubig bago ito ibahagi sa publiko.
Next is dehydration. Dehydration is a harmful reduction in the amount of water in our body. So the first symptoms of dehydration include thirst, darker urine, and decreased urine production. In fact, yung kulay ng ihi is one of the best way para malaman ang hydration level ng isang tao. However, it is important to know, lalo na sa mga adult, na ang dehydration ay maaaring mangyari kahit hindi mo nararamdaman ang pagkauhaw. That's why it is important to drink more water when ill and during hot weather. So, as the condition progresses, to moderate dehydration symptoms include dry mouth, lethargy o yung mabilis na pagkapagod, weakness in muscles, headache, and dizziness. Severe dehydration or loss of 10 to 15% of the body's water may be characterized by extreme version of symptoms. Just like lack of sweating, sunken eyes o yung lubog yung mata mo, shriveled and dry skin, low blood pressure, increased heart rate, lagnat, unconsciousness, and lastly, delirium. Ito yung mental confusion. It makes you difficult to think, remember, sleep, pay attention, and more. So for children and babies naman, the following are the symptoms. Sunken fontanelle o lubog yung bumbunan, dry tongue and mouth, no tears when crying, sunken cheeks and eyes, no wet diaper for 3 or more hours, or hindi pa siya nakakaihi sa loob ng 3 oras. So the basic causes of dehydration are not taking enough water, losing too much water, or a combination of both. But there are additional causes of dehydration. It includes diarrhea, which is the most common cause of dehydration. The large intestine absorbs water from food matter, and diarrhea prevent this from happening. So the body excretes too much water that leads to dehydration. Next is vomiting. It leads to loss of fluids to our body that is difficult to replace. Next is sweating. The body's cooling mechanism releases a significant amount of water that can further increase fluid loss from sweating. Katulad na lang sa tuwing nilalagnat tayo, mas mataas ang possibility na pagpawisan tayo lalo na't mainit ang temperature ng katawan natin. Mas lalo tayong madedehydrate niyan, sabayan pa ng diarrhea and vomiting. Diabetes. High blood sugar levels cause increased urination and fluid loss. Frequent urination o yung madalas na pag-ihi. And lastly is burn that caused fluid to leak into the surrounding tissues. Industrial water use. Estimated 15% of the worldwide water usage belong to industrial uses of water. It includes power plants that use water to cool their equipment and oil factories that use water for chemical processes. Next is household use. So dito na nabibilang yung tubig na ginagamit natin sa pang-araw-araw. Yung tubig na iniinom natin, pinangluluto, pinangliligo, pinangdidilig, at pinangbubuhos. Globally, household or personal water use is estimated to account for 15% of worldwide usage. Next is recreational use. So, many recreational water uses are non-consumptive. Ito yung mga tubig na ginagamit natin sa swimming, fishing, boating, river rafting, and other activities. Last is environmental use. Environmental use of water includes creating wildlife habitat. Wetlands are built to create places for fish and water birds. A shortage of this water may lead us to biodiversity loss. So, that's it. The end part of chapter 4, hydrology. So, hopefully, may natutunan kayo sa report namin.